Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Hope you're all fit and well. I do need to say a very quick good morning to Kerry Jones, who hasn't been around for a while. Morning all. First, I've been able to do a live in a while. Not a problem, Kerry. It hasn't been the same without you, but good to have you back. Also, good to have back Mr. Hatcher, who was absent yesterday, dealing with his father's medical issues. Thank you very much indeed for coming back, Ken. Always welcome, as you well know. And I've just pressed the button, but apparently Jim Turner's button isn't working this morning. Let me try it one more time. There we go. It is working now. And I'm going to say good morning to Chris Ford as well. I'll get back to all the other good mornings in just a moment. Where are we? Yeah, one of the great joys of the bank holiday is the unspoken half of the double whammy. Everybody talks about the long weekend, which is great, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But that long weekend also means a shorter working week. So here we are, just 2 days into this working week, and we're already at the halfway point. So happy hump day, one and all. I say it's halfway. It sort of is, because once again, I've committed to hosting a Saturday social show this weekend. So if you're around at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, join us for some entirely rudderless chat about Lord alone knows what. We ended up spending the best part of an hour and a half talking about electric machines last weekend. No idea why. No idea where we're going to end up this time, but if you fancy that, please join us. My plan is also to have a small prize up for grabs on Saturday as well, much as we do today. And up for grabs today is another Komatsu baseball cap. I've actually got it in front of me there. There you are. Komatsu baseball cap, complete with the Comtrax sticker on the side. Andy Dyson won one yesterday, but they're up for grabs again today. And let me make it very easy for you. Those are the instructions. You just need to type prize, Prize, all one word, into the chat, and you will be entered into the competition for your chance to win. I'll draw the winner at the end of the show. Just one other very quick point while I have your attention. Yesterday afternoon, I took delivery of our new limited edition Breakfast Show stickers, which you can see right there before you. Let me have a look. Let me get to the right place because I need to tell you a thing. There you are. Those stickers are new and exclusive. There are only 20 of those stickers in existence. In fact, that's a lie because Peter McKenna actually bought one yesterday afternoon. So you can order a Breakfast Show sticker of your very own using the link that I've just posted in the chat. Let me get that off the screen. Yes, I'll come back to the stickers a little bit later on. But without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. It is Wednesday, the 30th of August, the end of August. Can you believe it? Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, 2 booms are better than 1 for Allu. JCB's Lord Bamford takes a hydrogen van for a spin. The technology that is shaping the Museum of the Future in Dubai, and we're taking an in-depth look at the next generation Cat 336 excavator as well. Plus, as I've already mentioned, there is another Komatsu baseball cap up for grabs. We'll get to all of that in just a second. But first, let us peer back through the mists of time to see what was happening on this very day in history. Yeah, so on this day in 1860, the UK's first tram went into operation in Birkenhead. In 1918, Soviet Union leader Lenin survived an assassination attempt. In 1993, The Late Show with David Letterman debuted on CBS. In 2008, the movie Slumdog Millionaire premiered. And on this day in 2017, the unfinished works of the late author Terry Pratchett were destroyed by steamroller in accordance with his wishes. I've no idea why. Now, before we get into the real meat of the show, let me remind you very quickly of our question of the day. And today's question, once again, comes from our resident quizmaster, Mr. Gary Muirhead. What is your favourite breed of dog? Personally, I'm a boxer man. There's two of them right next door as we speak. When I was a kid, I used to, there was a guy who used to walk a boxer called Tommy in my local park where I used to play football. And he was a real gentle giant. Always loved Tommy. Fantastic dog. At the same time, and completely unconnected, my wife's nan used to work in a shop where there was a boxer called Bruce. So my wife played with Bruce as a child. So one of the few things we've ever agreed on, trust me, it is, was our joint love of boxer dogs. But what about you? Are you batty about bassets? Are you potty for poodles? Or do you prefer to canoodle a labradoodle? Who writes this stuff, honestly? Let us know in the chat. What is your favourite breed of dog? Now, let's crack on. Do you ever look at a YouTube video and just think to yourself, wait, what? Well, that was me yesterday afternoon. There I was, idly perusing the Allu YouTube channel, should I say, when I came across this. Yep. As far as I can tell, that really is a twin boom excavator, and each of the booms is equipped with an Allu attachment. I've no idea how they decided that was the best solution, but it certainly stopped me scrolling through YouTube yesterday afternoon. Let's have a look. Dan Cullens just said, good video, but slew over cab, big no-no, he says. Yeah, quite agree. But yeah, interesting approach. Wonder who came up with that, whether that was a customer thing or an Allu thing. Impressive video, says Justin Carrigan, who has also joined us in the chat. He obviously smelled the fact that we have a Komatsu hat for grabs. There it is, Komatsu hat. Just type prize. You can see it at the bottom of the screen there. Just type prize into the chat, and you will be entered. How many are we up to? Now we're up to 6 entries so far, which is weird because I could have sworn it said 7 just a moment ago. But if you haven't typed the word prize into the chat already, please do so forthwith or even sooner, because we'll be drawing it in the not too distant future. But in the meantime, one of these. I think it's safe to say that British manufacturer JCB is at the cutting edge of hydrogen fuel technology. I think it's also fair to say that much of that drive stems from the chairman of the company, Lord Bamford. Well, not content with developing a range of off-road equipment powered by hydrogen, Lord Bamford is now turning his attention to on-road applications.
Well, we're here today with a Mercedes Sprinter van we had in our experimental department, using it as a runaround, and I thought, I wonder whether we could fit our hydrogen engine in it, and they work just the same way as a normal engine. We've also done the same thing with a Mercedes truck as well. This has got the same pulling power, the same torque characteristics as a normal diesel engine. It's really very smooth, very easy. It honestly just feels like a normal diesel van. I mean, you may well ask why we've done it. I've done it really just to show that it is not only the construction machinery and agriculture machinery that could benefit with hydrogen. So it's really to show how simple it is, and to convert existing vans will be relatively simple to do. This is not for JCB to do it, it's just to show that there is something else than batteries, that it can work very effectively. And there we are.
JCB, always looking for a better way.
I wonder how many times Lord Bamford has actually driven a van in his career. I guess he's probably not that many, but joking aside, great to see a great British company leading the hydrogen charge. Now, I'm going to throw back to our previous video, which was obviously the multi-boom from Allu. There is Kerry Jones saying, I'm sure Hitachi have a dual boom unit for demolition operations. They most certainly do. In actual fact, the machine, you can, if you go over to the Demolition News YouTube channel and search for the term boom boom, seemed obvious at the time, you can actually see a video. It was actually very kindly sent to me by Mike Wolf, the editor of World Highways magazine. He saw it at an exhibition over in China. In actual fact, it is for demolition operations, but it's specifically for post-earthquake cleanup. So they tend to use one boom for gripping whatever it is that needs to be cut or crunched or crushed or whatever, and the other one actually does the munching. But yeah, really, really innovative, if what somewhat cumbersome approach. Let's have a look. Jim Turner. No, we're going to come back to dogs in just a moment. We'll come back to dogs in just a moment. In the meantime, we need a spot of this.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
I know we all love equipment on this show, but every once in a while I think it's good to shake things up a little and look at how technology, how technology is helping to shape the future of construction. Well, we have one such instance for you right now. This film explains the role that technology from Leica Geosystems is playing in the construction of Dubai's Museum of the Future.
My name's Derek Burke. I'm the Digital Construction Manager for BAM here in the Museum of the Future. BAM are mainly a construction company, but they operate in all life cycles of construction, from civil infrastructure, marine jobs, to building jobs, and to PPP jobs. Museum of the Future is an exhibition centre. So it's got levels for open plan floors for exhibitions. It's got a 400-seater auditorium, as well as food and beverage areas. We're employed to build the project from the engineers and the architects' design concept right through to handover. Me, myself, I'm the Digital Construction Manager, so I look after all the information, 3D models, drawing outputs, and all the handover documentation for the delivery of the project.
My name is Owen Ryan. My role in the project is a BIM coordinator, so I work under Derek, who's the BIM manager, and part of the engineering team. We deliver the project as regards coordination of 3D models, laser scanning on site, assisting the QS team on a daily basis with quantities from the 3D model, and also our planning team through 4D sequencing, etc. Due to the complexity of the building, I think there's a lot of curves, a lot of shapes, a lot of round edges, stuff that's not common to any other job. So that's probably one of the massive challenges, is coordination of MEP work. At the back of a curved lining, for instance, was one of our big challenges. The steel then, the diagrid, the 1,000 or so individual facade panels all had to be coordinated together and put on the building in a coordinated way. 3D laser scanning is important to the project because it allows us to make sure that anything that's coming to site, whether that be the facade panels, the steel, is coming to be installed as per the design. Now, if there's little changes here and there, the scanner will pick that up. We'll do a scan before, for instance, the facade panels come to site, so we know what's involved. So when an item comes to site, there's no rework involved in moving brackets, etc., etc. The scanner picks it up, we know what's involved, it can be overlaid on the 3D model, and we know that when a product is coming to site that it's going to fit. There's going to be no issues with cranes hanging around, scaffolding being in place and having to wait for modifications being made to anything. So we know the scanner allows us to pick that up. The support we got from Leica staff here in Dubai was outstanding. From the beginning, Mustafa was on site training our team, our surveyors, who then were able to lend their ideas and their knowledge on the scanner throughout our team. If then there were certain points where we had queries or we had obstacles, Mustafa was always on call, Richard was always on call to just assist us. From Leica, we're using Cyclone. So that's used as a registration tool to bring the scan data from the scanner to P40 into Cyclone, and then we make our cleaning up what we call the noise in the project through Cyclone, and then exporting out a PTS file. So from there, we create a recap file through Autodesk, and then with the recap file, we can either give it or the PTS file actually, to our subcontractors who are dealing in Tekla. We use it ourselves then on our Autodesk Revit. Navisworks on a daily basis for coordination and checking purposes. So using Leica Cyclone, I found very straightforward. We scan basically mainly through control points. So at the click of a button, extracting the data from the Leica P40, we import it directly into Cyclone at the click of a button. There, because we use control points, the model space was available to us straight away, and we could work on it as regards quickly visualization. We could see what we scanned already, clear any noise that we didn't want, and then export the PTS straight away. In the future, I would insist on using a laser scanner of some sort, because I've used Leica before. I couldn't fault it, and I would definitely insist that anyone on our job would use it, whether it's a Leica P40, a BLK, or an RTC 360. It doesn't matter what size job you have. I think the Leica will give you results that you require. Whether it's just checking an as-built room, checking as-built verification of your subcontractors, etc. Very important, and I would not go without it, to be honest.
Personally, I've no real desire to visit Dubai, but I'd love to see that building from the inside and from the outside. I have to admit, I'm not an architecture buff by any means, but I do love unique buildings. The European Demolition Association hosted their annual convention at the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao many years ago. Really stunning venue. I'd love to go to that one as well. I had a couple of comments on that in the chat. Let's have a look. Dan Cullen says, amazing technology. He also said something else, I think. Now, that's an interesting, good on BAM and Leica. That looks an awkward building. Awkward indeed. Let's have a look. I think Ken Hatcher said something as well that I was planning to respond to, if I can find it. I think one of the things that he said, there we are. It used to be Bam Nuttall. It most certainly still is. I checked while we were live. I think it's just Bam for short, basically. I thought this was an interesting one, though. The UK is getting left behind in this world. I know where you're coming from, Ken, but bearing in mind that was a British company actually doing the work in Dubai. Are we really getting left behind? Good question. Now, something new to show you.
If you would like to buy a limited edition Break Fast show sticker, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/demolition news/extras.
Yeah, and to save you writing that down, the link to the stickers is in the chat as we speak. Now, a few weeks ago, you might recall that we brought you an extended walk around of the next generation Cat 352 excavator. Well, it appears that these films are growing popular in Caterpillar land as they've produced another one, only this time it's on the next gen Cat 336. I'm going to roll the film right now, which means that you have just 8 minutes, to type the word prize, Prize, into the chat for your chance to win this baseball cap from the fine folks at Komatsu. There you are, that's what it looks like. We're drawing the prize for that immediately after this.
Designed for demanding jobs, the new Cat 336 excavator stands out as a class-leading producer. Ton for ton, the 336 is the top choice for getting Cat work done. Cat buckets and teeth can cut through the toughest material. The right Cat bucket with the right bucket tips improve penetration with less digging effort and with faster cycle time. Cat linkages bring another level of productivity and versatility to your operation. Cat quick couplers add the ability to change attachments quickly and conveniently to your operation while staying aligned to worldwide safety standards. Reach booms and sticks have been reinforced with thicker plates to enhance durability and carry heavier work tools. Optional boom and stick lowering check valves prevent reverse flow, keeping your front linkage securely in place should the hydraulic system unexpectedly lose power. Extended filter intervals makes maintenance more sustainable, reducing oil and filter waste. The filter models have parts commonality similar across the next generation excavator range to ease the management of stock and increase parts availability. improved ergonomically designed steps allows for better access to reach the engine compartment and top area of the 336. Higher, more visible safety railing comes standard for 3 points of contact. Plus, additional anti-skid plates for safety are available if there is a need to climb upon the 336. Electro-hydraulic main valve provides required flexibility to limit restriction, reducing both energy, waste, and operating costs. Right-hand side rear camera or 360 camera system integrated and protected from damage to reduce the risk of blind spots. Optional autonomous electric air heater connected to the batteries to warm up the air going to the engine to ease the engine startup in cold conditions. Spacious and redesigned cab common across all Cat track and wheel excavators with enlarged and new right-hand side components layout windows for an increased visibility that will bring higher productivity and safety to the operator. Smart Mode is an optimization feature which allows the machine to have an auto-regulation of power and speed according to the job or application requirements that reduces fuel consumption.
Well, don't know about you, but I think that looks every bit as impressive as its big brother, the Cat 352. I don't think they ever lost it entirely, but it does feel like Caterpillar has regained its excavator mojo. Now, there is no gripe of the day today because we need to find out who has won today's Komatsu baseball cap. So let me fire up the randomizer. How many entries have we had? We have had 9 this morning. So I know I screwed things up yesterday because I managed to enter the competition myself. I've not entered this time. So let's roll the prize draw and see who is winning today's Komatsu baseball cap. And the winner is our video star of yesterday, Al Grisson, all the way from Luxembourg. Al, I'll be putting that in the post for you today. I'm not entirely sure what way to best send that so that it doesn't get stopped at border control and you then have to basically sell your spleen to get it through customs. But whatever way that is, I will do that. But Al Grisson, you are now the proud owner of one. This one, in fact, this will be the one going in the envelope. There's a few more behind it, but that's going in the envelope. So congratulations, Al. Well done on that. And I guess that's just reward for your excellent video of yesterday. The daily gripe therapy session will, of course, return at some point. So let me know yours. What is it that grinds your gears, gets your goat, and generally butters your proverbial parsnips? That pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like. That's a gazelle. Over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues, and your dogs as well, because we're going to come on to dogs in just a second. But if you do have the time and the inclination, please stick around, because the crack will begin immediately after this final word from our key show sponsor. Right, let's get a bit of music playing in the background. Let's go back to this one, I think. Yeah, that's nice and subtle for a hump day. Let's throw over to the chat. Al Grisson, yay, thanks. Time to save up money. Save up some money to afford my free prize. Yeah, I wish there was something I could do, Al. If there was some way I could disguise it to make it cheaper, I would do that. Let me know. Wonder how much they are new. P.S. Has anyone got a bit digging bucket for one? Is that the Caterpillar machine? Not entirely sure. Dan Cullen says, well done, Al. Yes, well done indeed. Let me throw back to the beginning of the chat because that is where it all began today. He was absent yesterday, but he was first off the mark this morning. Ken Hatcher is back in our midst. Morning, Ken. Hope you're fit and well, my friend. Just to let you know, you have missed out now. You missed out yesterday on the Komatsu baseball cap. You've missed out today. There are at least, I think, 3 more, possibly 4. I've not dug that deep into the box. So if you didn't win today, fear not. There is another chance tomorrow and probably through to the end of the week as well. And please bear in mind, the end of the week includes Saturday, because we will be doing a Saturday social show. Dan Cullen was second off the mark. Morning, Dan. Jim Turner, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and early today. Good morning, Jim. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Gary Muirhead says, good morning, Mark. Good morning, gang. Good morning to Gary. Who else do we have here? We have somebody in disguise who is going by the name of Facebook user. Don't know who that is. But good morning, whoever you are. Kerry Jones, morning all. First I've been able to do a live in a while. Not a problem at all, Kerry. I have seen you popping up on Facebook, having watched the replay from time to time, so not a problem at all. But thank you very much indeed for joining us. Always welcome. Happy Hump Day is right, says Dan Cullen. It most certainly is. Yeah, Wednesday already. Can you believe it? Although, as I say, with the Saturday social bolted onto the end of the week, just means my week is the same length, just bumped back a little bit. Good morning, people. Are we all prepared for another day of strife? Yes. I didn't do any of the speaking. I do all my speaking during the morning, but my wife was speaking to one of her friends, or our friends, should I say, who went on holiday. No, they didn't. They went to a wedding in Bulgaria. I think they flew out on Thursday, Friday last week, and went to Bulgaria for this family wedding. And obviously, air traffic control have then decided it it decided they weren't coming home again via the direct route. Their daughter, their youngest daughter, who attended the wedding with them, was supposed to be getting home in time to go on her first ever all-girls holiday to Croatia. She can't make that. And because they're unable to get back from Bulgaria, they've flown from Bulgaria to Malaga, where some friends of ours have a villa, and they're staying at that villa in the hope that somebody at British Airways will find them a flight back home again. So what should have been a quick flip to Bulgaria and back again in the space of a couple of days is looking like at least a week and possibly even longer than that. So, as Chris Ford has said, another day of strife. Indeed. Mark Whiting's in their house, as well as is Allu. Good morning to both of you. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Mick Norton's in the house as well, entering the competition, as is Ken Hatcher. As I said, you've missed out this time, but don't worry, there's another one up for grabs tomorrow. Now, I mentioned today that our question of the day came from Gary Muirhead, and it was this: what is your favourite breed of dog? I am a boxer dog all the way. We are, let me think, 3, 4. We're on boxer dogs 5 and 6. I bought my wife's first boxer dog, Satchmo, for her 21st birthday about 1,000 years ago, and we then added another one, Ella, and then we added another one, and then we added, and obviously they have died out, and then we've replaced them. We're now down to the 2 that we've got now. Diesel, who weighs in at about 7.5 stone and is as daft as a brush, and Echo, who is half his size but rules the roost. Yeah, they're both next door at the moment. So, breed of dogs. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Let's have a look. Mick Norton says, good morning, Mark. Tristan Mays, the Crane King himself, good morning, Mark. I'll send you my address for my sticker. They are for sale. They are for sale. They just are. Yeah, I do feel it's a weird one, right? So we have. Do I have it? Have I uploaded it yet? Yeah, let me play you this very quickly, and I'll come back to the conversation point in just a second.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Yeah, so Buy Me a Coffee is a service that allows you to tip, effectively, content creators that you think are worth a tip. We also use it to sell some books and various other bits and pieces. We're using it to sell our stickers at the moment. Obviously, you know, we have paid advertising on this show, but my feeling on the stickers were that they're costing me a couple of quid. It cost me £1 to send them out, so I'm only breaking even. It's not like I'm, and bearing in mind we only produce 20, so I'm not exactly retiring on the proceeds. But when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, well, you know, I've now done, 567 episodes of this show. And we have had tips in the past, just random tips from people in the audience. But I thought it was about time that, A, we had some more tips from the audience, but also that the tippees should actually get something in return. That was the feeling behind the stickers. So yes, they are there for sale. They're £3 each, and they're sat on my desk waiting to go out the door. So if you fancy one of those, you know where to find them. Dan Cullen says, good morning to the ever so wonderful Lou Carney. Yeah, good morning and well said. Now, going back to our question of the day about dogs. There we are. Kerry Jones says Border Collie. Border Collie is his personal favourite. There's Lou Carney saying good morning back. Chris Ford says I've had 4 Rotties and 6 GSDs. GSDs, I'm guessing, are German Shepherds, right? Do you live in an area where there's a high crime level, or do you just like fearsome looking dogs? And I realise both of those breeds are as good as gold, but they are pretty ferocious looking dogs. Dan Cullen says one of my favourites is a Collie or Great Danes and Doberman. Yeah, absolutely. I used to do a newspaper delivery when I was about 14 years old. And there was a house fairly close to where I live now, and they had 3 Great Danes, and they actually had a warning on the gate as you went in: beware of the dogs. 3 more stupid and friendly dogs you could never wish to meet. They were absolute gentle giants, but I was face to face with them at 14. They were absolutely enormous. Mick Norton is a friend, is a fan of the Yorkshire Terrier. Fearsome little beasts they are. Yeah, they're only that big, but they'll fight anything. Justin Carrigan's in the house. He obviously smelled a prize in the offing. Graham Footy Williams says he's got 5 Chihuahuas. Romeo, Max, Black, Flora, China. Those are their names. Be interested to see where the names came from. Romeo and Flora and China. I told you, Justin Carrigan would be up for a prize. Justin, be here tomorrow. We'll try again. Question of the day. Luke Carney says, question of the day. Dachshunds, I have 3. And Lurchers. Jacob, my other son, has 2. My other son? do we generally count Isaac and then the other son? Or is that just because people may have met Isaac? I'm sure I mentioned this a little while ago, but while we were on holiday, somebody said to my wife, we've got, I think they were nephews or something, called Oliver and Freddie. And my wife said, yes, we've got a Freddie too. At which point I had to point out to her the fact that we also have an Oliver, but we call him Ollie. And she'd completely not seen the join. Yes, we have an Oliver and a Freddie. But yeah, Lurchers, Jacob, other son, all of that. Justin Carrigan says, impressive video. Yeah, those twin boom excavators. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It must be like doing that thing. I don't know how you go about doing that. Dan Cullen says, guess what cap I'm wearing today? Could it be a Komatsu cap by any chance, Dan? Could it be? I think we need some photographic evidence if you can do that. Kerry Jones rightly pointed out, yes, but Hitachi most certainly do have a dual boom unit for demolition operations. If I could share it, I would, but I can't. But we did actually feature that. As I say, my old mate Mike Wolf from World Highways was actually at an exhibition in China where they were demonstrating that dual boom Hitachi excavator for earthquake clear up, and he sent me the video, and we've got it over on our YouTube channel, so go and have a look. Question of the day. My saw dog should be small, dachshund or a terrier. Jim Turner, pug. I've never believed it until the missus bought one. Out of our 3 dogs, the pug is my favourite. They are. Listen, I as a boxer fan, I do like squashy-nosed dogs. I find long-nosed dogs quite disturbing. There's something about the crocodile about them, whereas a pushed-in nose, kind of like that. Gaz Evans is here. I wanted to ask Gaz a question. Gaz, bearing in mind you are the source of all things excellent model-wise, have you made any either electric or hydrogen machines as yet? Is anybody actually requesting models of hydrogen machines or models of electric machines? Just looking for further indications of the industry's gradual acceptance of these things, and I just wondered if anybody's actually got maybe an electric machine already and decided to have it immortalised by Gaz Evans as a model. If you have, Gaz, let us know. Be interested to know. Mick Norton says, thank the Lord for UK entrepreneurs like Lord Bamford. God bless him, with his company keeping hydrogen at the fore. Not just his company, his son as well is also very active in the hydrogen business. I think his son is looking primarily at things like hydrogen-powered buses, but there is a very real possibility, and frankly, I wouldn't be upset if it were to happen. There is a very real possibility that JCB could be the nation's leader in all things hydrogen, and possibly even further afield, bearing in mind their footprint in places like India. Could we see JCB not having a second life, but having an additional life, having already established itself as one of the world's biggest and best construction equipment manufacturers, to then 75, 76 years later, to then have a second life on top of that as a pioneer in the hydrogen business? Love to see it. We featured BAM working over at that Museum of the Future. A Museum of the Future It's a weird idea, isn't it? Museums are usually of things of the past. This is a museum of the future. But Ken Hatcher pointed out the fact that the team there were working for BAM. I think that was just an abbreviation. It is still BAM Nuttall. And we'll go on to see a bit more of that in just a second. The UK, where is it? There we are. There is Ken Hatcher saying the UK is getting left behind in this world. Is that right? Is that right? Talk amongst yourselves. There are times, and listen, there are times when I watch the news and I think Ken is absolutely on the money. I think we are in many ways out of step with the modern world. You've only got to look at our approach to immigration and migration and stuff to see that. But technology-wise, bearing in mind, today we featured a British company, or more specifically, I think probably an Irish company, or certainly one of Irish origin, working in Dubai using the very latest technology to build the Museum of the Future. And we're also talking about JCB, a proud British company who are at the very forefront of hydrogen development. Are we getting left behind, or are we actually at the forefront? I'd love to get your thoughts on that. And I do wonder if that's one of those things that people do, not just British people, but I wonder if you asked an American where they thought they were on the technology trail. I would imagine a good few of those would say, yeah, we're getting left behind, when in actual fact, when you look at some of the companies over there, Tesla, Apple, people like that, they are right there at the cutting edge. Let's have a look. Al Grierson pitched up late and still managed to nick the prize. Maybe there's some. I've tried to predict these things in the past. Does it pay to get your entry in early? Does it pay to get your entry in late? Makes no difference whatsoever. It does turn out that the randomizer is, in fact, random. Dan Cullen says that's some technology. It most certainly is. Particularly when you think about, they were talking about lasers. And as we all know, that lasers they're fantastic for discos and raves and that kind of thing. But lasers are really, really good for one thing in particular. Straight lines. Straight lines. And yet, looking at that Museum of the Future, I didn't see any. I'm sure there's some very, very clever people working to get that bend in the building, but I don't know how that works. Gary Muirhead. Now, are these things... We've got a Borodor. She's amazing. It's a Lab Collie cross. See, when I was a nipper, anything that was more than one breed was a mongrel. And yet somewhere along the line, maybe there was a marketing team involved. Somewhere along the line, somebody allowed a Labrador to have its way with a poodle, and the resulting animal was not a mongrel, it was a Labradoodle. And then we had cockapoos and Borodors. Never even heard of a Borodor before. Let's have a look. I said that it was Bam Nuttall. Be Forever Bam. It was Logan, an Irish firm, and Bam bought them out. Good to know. I like the fact that the first Cat 336 and new generation models still use the old Cat logo and colour. We have one over here. You know, it's really funny. I mean, I like to think that I've kind of got my finger on the pulse of the UK demolition and construction industry, but I don't think anybody's got their finger on the pulse quite like Al Grierson. Because Luxembourg is not the biggest of places, he does say, the very fact we have one over here. There is a Cat 336 next generation excavator, and he could probably tell you where it is as well. Apparently they're a good machine. What happened, says Ken Hatcher, to the Cat 336 hybrid or 336 hybrid? Well, I went and had a look. Turns out that the Cat 336 hybrid, it's certainly still showing on the Caterpillar website. You can see it there. I won't bore you with reading out the details there, but you can see it there. This was an interesting one, and I didn't see it, but I'll go back and have a look. Mick Norton says, I see the Cat 336 has a wing torque descriptor. Could somebody educate this old Cat D8H operator? What is wing torque? I had a very quick look online, and wing torque seems to relate to all things aeronautical. So in terms of an excavator, not a clue. Not a clue. Dan Cullen then elaborates. Yes, was Aston Logan, the Irish subsidiary to it now. Bam bought it in 2008. There you are. Now you know. And Dan is also a fan of the Cat 336 next generation machine. Built-in camera, good idea. Totally agree. There is our winner, Al Grierson. Al, you may have to remind me of your address. But I'll go digging. But if you can send me that direct, that would be very, very handy indeed. Wonder how much they are new. P.S. Has anyone got a digging bucket for one? I think that's the Cat 336, but I'm not entirely sure. Nuclear waste sticker might stop curious customs officials, at least in the short term. That's a thought. That is a thought. Yeah. Not sure I've got any of those lying around. Cat 336. FIXE mark, no idea what the size of the pins are on the quick hits yet. Al Grierson says, but Bulgaria is almost next to Croatia. Yes, well, apparently the conversation was that the only flights available out of Bulgaria at the time were to Malaga, and according to somebody, I think it was a British Airways, but somebody said there are pretty much flights every other hour from Malaga to the UK. So I think the plan was, well, if we can't get on the 1st or the 2nd or even the 5th, we'll get on the 6th or the 7th. But no, because it's air traffic control, no flights are going anywhere. So yes, I know. But bearing in mind, also the girl in question is, I think she's probably 17, never been abroad on her own. She's done it with her family. This was going to be her first sojourn with her school friends or university friends or whatever it might be. So it wasn't just a case of loading her on a train and hoping for the best. I think the plan was to see her off at the airport. All gone horribly wrong. Border Collie, although out of in-law solidarity, I should add a German Bracker. Frida is a low-maintenance darling. I'm assuming Frida isn't your wife, Al. I've never heard of a German Brack. I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Best tip I can give you is never eat the yellow snow. Thank you very much indeed for that. I will bear that in mind when the snow arrives. My whippet, Max Woof, is a champion sleeper. Now, oddly enough, we were talking about Mr. Woof just a second ago. And Max Woof, son of Mike Woof. Morning, Mike. Mike was the one that captured the video footage of that dual boom. Christ, let me try it again. Dual boom Hitachi excavator at an exhibition in China. Good few years ago now. Go and have a look. Kerry Jones says, I've got enough trouble with a single boom machine. Yeah, my thoughts entirely. The Rant Pulp, the black, that's his own name. Black and white. When you walk down the street, call out black. Certainly heads turn. I'm sure they do. I had a collie cross Alsatian. He was a mongrel. See, mongrels. When did mongrels die out? When did we all agree? No, we're not going to call them mongrels anymore. Or, as my mum would have preferred, that dog is a Heinz 57. That was one of hers. JCB will definitely have a big growth spurt because of their position on hydrogen. That tipping point will come soon enough, and they will be all guns blazing, says Garvin over at Mostly Diggers. And if you're not following Garvin on Mostly Diggers over on Instagram, you're missing a trick. Go do that. But yeah, it will be interesting to see. It's a conversation we've had before, and I think I may have even mentioned it on Saturday of last week. Obviously, we've got a situation now where XCMG are the third biggest construction equipment manufacturer in the world. They are behind Komatsu and obviously behind Caterpillar as well. But I would say right at this very point in time, XCMG has probably stolen a bit of a march in terms of its adoption of electric machines. Could that propel them into second place? And I don't know where JCB currently sit on that World League table, but could their early adoption and pioneering work on hydrogen bump them up the table? Not that the table counts for a thing. I think it's called the Big Yellow Table. KHL produce it. The table itself doesn't count for a thing. But wouldn't that be amazing if a British manufacturer when come the glorious day when hydrogen pitches up and we all start to abandon our diesel machines and start to accept hydrogen, wouldn't it be fantastic if the premium choice of a hydrogen machine was in fact built right here in the UK? I'd like to see that. My latest dog is called Cooper, aka a cooking dog, or something like that. Cooking dog. They have those in Korea, don't they? Or is that a different thing? I think it probably is. Chris Ford, get in touch. I may be able to source a bucket for a cat, says Dan Cullen, if you're in the market. Let's have a look. What was that you wanted us to do on YouTube? Couldn't remember, so I didn't do it. What I suggested, Graham, was to go over to YouTube, search for Construction Channel Luxembourg, and hit the subscribe button. That was from yesterday. Let's have a look. Got to fly, have a meeting at 11. Have a fab day, guys and girls. Just in answer to your question from yesterday, Lou, no sign of the package yet, but it is early days. I'll keep you posted. My bad, it's not a German Brack, different dog. It's a German Hound. A Deutsche Brack, or Bracker. Bracker. I don't know. I'm going to go and look them up and see what they look like. But everybody, that's another hour and another hour closer to the weekend. So if you've already seen the link, it's in the chat. If you would like to secure yourself one of our new stickers, there's not that many of them left. They are limited edition. And once these ones are gone, that's it. I'm not going to produce any more. We may produce some different ones at some point in the future, but once these ones are gone, that will be the lot. So they are very much limited edition. So if you'd like one for your van, your truck, your computer, whatever, please get in touch. I don't think that yellow table is verified externally at all. I think the manufacturers can submit the numbers freely or not. Yeah, I've never understood quite how they do that, actually. Bloody hell, it went on Friday, Parcel Force, 24 hours. Funnily enough, we did actually have a Parcel Force delivery yesterday. It wasn't that, though. I want 3 of your stickers, please, Mark. Dan, you will... He says you'll buy them on Friday. Well, not a problem at all. I'll be... up until they're all gone, I will be mentioning them again in the not too distant future. Not least because it helps to break up the chat. I hope I sent it to the right address. So do I. I mean, we've had stuff from you Christmas and since in the run up to Plant Works. All of that seemed to be okay. So hopefully you haven't used an old address, Lou. I don't know. Hopefully by the time this show's over and I can go and have a look out in the hall, maybe it's already pitched up. I honestly don't know. But I'll be back here again tomorrow for Thursday. We've only done a couple of shows and it's already going to be Thursday. So yeah, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, because we're doing a Saturday social. If anybody's got any suggestions on stuff what we can talk about on Saturday, please let us know, because I'm going into the show with my brain as ever empty and devoid of new ideas. So if you've got anything you'd like to discuss, please let me know. We did electric machines last week. Maybe we can do hydrogen this week. Have a lovely day, guys. Thank you very much indeed, Dan. Stay safe and be happy. That's a fantastic note to end on. And that is pretty much exactly 1 hour. So everybody go and have a fantastic day. Al, remind me of your address. I'll get your hat in the post for you. I've also got to go and chase Andy Dyson because he hasn't sent me his address yet. And yeah, we'll be getting those in the post and off to you in the very near future. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Everybody have a fantastic day. All the best.